was in Hermosillo in 2017.
Yeah.
And that was the year I came back to bowling after 10 years break.
Mm.
That was the World Cup, and I was leading on day one. And they all start making jokes like, so these 10 years you were not a DJ. You were practicing for 10 years. You were practicing for 10 years.
Yeah.
But then on day two, reality showed back. I went down again, and they went, no, you're right. You were being a DJ. You were not practicing at all. He's a very funny guy, Mika. He's one of those people that if you don't know him, it's so serious, so formal. But wait till the tournament is over and the party is on.
Yeah.
As soon as the party is on, Mika becomes a go-go dancer.
That's how it should be, though. You should be able to enjoy the things outside of bowling, but when you're bowling, you should only be bowling. Like,
focus on bowling, focus on party.
yeah, and then after you just do whatever you want to do, as long as it's serious. I think you have one funny guy to watch out for on lane 5. You have a guy who's got so much power.
Let's go to lane 5 then.
Playing one hands, Kenneth Junior.
Kenneth Junior in lane 6, which is...
the lefty on lane 5.
I was going to say, he's going to take a shot on lane 5. He's going to have a look at him.
He's got pretty good power.
Oh, that's Kenneth. Yeah, that's true. I was talking to him. We bowled together yesterday also. Fun guy, very fun guy, very nice, very kind. He was actually telling me he's got booked squad 22 and 29, something like that. So he was praying, I hope I can make it on this one so I don't have to be so stressed for the end of the week.
Yeah.
And he can spare. That's something I like too.
Yeah, I know you like the spare game.
Okay, let's rock and roll a little bit around and see who's having what. Not so many strikes on lanes 13 to 16. It's a lot of open frames going on there. A little bit in between on lanes 1 to 4. I would say quite low scoring on 7, 8 also. Not so high on 5 and 6. Except Kenneth actually with 235. Moving around. It's a lot of open frames also on lanes 9 to 12.
Yeah, it looks a bit tougher now than compared to what I've seen before.
Yeah, compared to the previous squad, it looks like the kids had found a little bit better than the guys are doing at the moment. But it's also something that we saw happening last year and previous events. When it's the beginning of the week, the first 8, 10 squads, not everybody has been really paying attention. Everybody's kind of trying their own strategy, and that makes the lanes a little bit like inconsistent because one is trying outside, the other one is trying inside, the other one is having more surface, one is having reactive, one is having urethane. And one of the things we have heard many times is when many good bowlers are joining together the same squad because more or less the understanding is similar and the shape of the balls and more or less the lines you want to use, and especially on the breakpoint, are much more similar. The lanes have that kind of opening up a little bit easier way.
Yeah.
So always the first 10 squads in the week, you can see some guys scoring very high, but it's not like the whole pace is that high. And at the end of the week, it's the opposite. Maybe not that many high scores individually, but globally, it feels like things go higher.
Yeah. It's a bit special because you can choose to make the lane nice, but a lot of people, I don't know if they want the lane nice. They just want everybody to stress. They're probably not as experienced to play up the lane, though.
Now, I was going to say that most of the times, at least my experience down there with the bowlers that don't have that much knowledge, is that it's not that they're trying to screw up the lane.
Yeah, of course.
It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens.
They don't know what's going on, and it is what ends up happening.
This is not a pattern we're used to in Sweden as well, because we have shorter patterns, just not as much oil usually.
More like those league patterns, Allsvenskan 38, 39, and stuff like that.
We got some patterns there. We had one in Elite Series for a while, 35 feet. That was a little bit more oil on it, but it's not similar to like the wolf patterns and stuff like that. It's just a bit less, so it's not like you're playing more tight. You're still up the gutter almost in every pattern.
I believe also another thing that goes on the Swedish league is it's a lot of urethane going on.
Yeah. That's true.
It's a lot of power bowlers that bowl the hook and stop in a way.
Yeah.
So obviously the transition you're going to find on the lanes is different, and also the format is much shorter. It's only 4 games. So you never really get to that 5th, 6th game where the lane is really drying up and allows you to do something different.
Yeah. I feel like that's the reason why the last squad was so high as well. A lot of the kids in Sweden, apart from being myself, even though I barely call myself a kid anymore, a lot of the kids in Sweden are good at throwing urethane because they're used to this kind of parents. Just not this much oil, but this kind of distance.
You think they're going to try to give a solution by giving even more surface than they are used to?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably already trying it, and the lane is going to dry up more, though, because you want the ball to hook in the right spots, but usually the answer in Sweden is just more surface and throw it harder.
Okay, let's go around a little bit. Let me see who's doing what. We're going to have a potential 235 for Kenji in lane 20. We have also the Danish guy, Mick Stumpy, with a double and a 4 in a row. So if he strikes out, it's going to go up all the way to 256. Also, in that streaming, we find from Denmark, Sophie bowled unbelievable on the previous squad. Super consistent all the time. She told me she didn't change ball in 6 games.
Was it purple? Or which ball was it?
No, it wasn't a purple. I think it was a black one. But I didn't really ask which one it was. I'm not sure it was. I don't think it was the new pitch black, because she was bowling quite deep.
Yeah.
Quite deep, understand me, around 12 to 8, 12 to 9 maybe. But the ball was coming back quite okay. And also by the reaction it had, I would have bet it was a reactive, but I could be wrong. It's not so easy to see the balls on the screen.
She's really good at bowling that, like more towards the center part of the lane deep as well, though, with her release. Really soft. She's doing the same thing in this squad, just triple 9 spare, just hitting the pocket and making a few doubles here and there.
Keeping it simple, keeping it in a way that's easy to control. That's a little bit what we said at the beginning. If you're patient on the first 2 games, don't try to get the 150 over in the first 2. Be patient, stay alive, and then let the lane open up for you and bring you the score. Okay, 225 on lane 2 for Oscar. Then we have 212 on lane 3 for Niels. Let's see what else we have. 206 and 206 for Kim Bolivier and Joel. 235 for Carl Wargren and the local. Then we have William Huggeson, 222. 223 for Kenji.
Mick's gonna take the highest score now, I think. He's got the first in the 10.
Yeah, so it's looking already at 240. And another strike for Sophie over there.
He throws it so well as well. He's so smooth with the ball.
Mick.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch when he was doing the warm-up. He was actually taking reverse bowling warm-up. He did a couple of shots of 1 step only.
Yeah.
It called my attention. Said, look, he's trying to get the right feeling.
Yeah, it's a good way when you're not warmed up instead of just going out and cranking it.
Yes, it was a bit more pushy this time, but he got it. So it's going to be a 256 for Mick if he gets 1 more. And is Sophie going to double again? Yes, she does. 220 something for her. She's really making me not want to bowl anymore.
You want to bet with her?
No, that's because I cannot see myself performing at all. Okay, I presume we're going to have a true update of this game 1, see what's the final score for everybody. Tell us a little bit about this season. Where have you been? Where have you been bowling?
Been bowling pretty much everywhere and nowhere, I feel like. The first part of the season wasn't that great, and then towards the end of the season switched some stuff, and it's been quite good the last few months.
You made some changes on your game.
Yeah. I try to become more clean with the ball, try to make my last 2 steps a bit more direct instead of going towards my body and fighting myself, just letting it fall. And then I went to your favorite center, whereas you're not
Yeah,
used.
yeah. Madrid bowling alley, Madrid called Chamartin.
Yeah.
That bowling alley already in the 80s. The only European Spanish single winner we have. It happened on that bowling alley. It's a lefty guy, obviously.
Yeah.
He won on that bowling alley. They made the European Championship again there like 3 or 4 years later. I think he was second.
Mm.
But every time I visit that bowling alley, it doesn't matter what I try. It's always the lefty
Yeah.
on the top. It's a very very big leftist bowling alley, and you tricked me because you put it an Instagram shot on that bowling alley, and you were hooking it normal, and I was like, wow, you're making it so good for hooking it the right way, and then I had to find
right
out. Well, you know what I mean, the right way.
Yeah, I understand.
The normal way. And then I found out you were actually going back up.
Mm.
Sorry for a couple of seconds. We were touching some buttons again. You know, we are quite okay on understanding bowling, but we're not so good on the technical stuff. So we had some help. What were we talking about? We were talking a little bit about your bowling changes and the season and the lefties bowling alley in Madrid. What did you do there, by the way?
I got second in Masters, second in Madrid, but it was funny because you texted me during the week, and Ben replied back instantly. It was like, "Oh, you're bowling on the right side. That's so nice." Then I see 2 minutes later, Ben Robinson. He was not bowling on the right side. And then, funny enough, we bowled a regular tournament. Top 2 was righties.
Really?
For like the first time ever, I feel like. Because the year before, it was 4 leftists in top 4.
What did Jesus do?
Jesus got, he was bowling great, and then he really wasn't bowling great. He either bowled 280 or 140.
Oh.
He's such an amazing person and such an amazing bowler, but he was just struggling. We bowled together. We crossed during final step 3. And I was like, yes, I get to cross with this guy. He gives me such good energy. And it was both scored. I think we were first and second after that block. And then the lane just got horrendous because it was 8 lefties and 4 righties. So the ride actually got nicer because it was less righties.
Not so much traffic. What about the approach? Because every time I've been there, it's like Disney on ice. It's so slippery. I fucking hate it.
This year it was way better, but I think they stopped polishing like they do in Germany and some places.
A couple of times ago when I was there, they were using that Dina Slide, it's called.
Yeah.
Kind of a cleaner for the approach, but it makes it so slippery. But when you look at the information, it says spray 3 times for every, I don't know if it's 20 lanes.
Yeah.
And they used to spray 4 times on each lane. So
yeah.
So even the power step foot was like slippery on the back. I ended up bowling with my street shoes and getting them wet. And obviously they got so angry. What are you doing with the street shoes? What are you doing with these neon eyes?
It's like we bowled in München once. Don Barrett, he bought a stop sole and he bought like a machine so he could grind the like sole down every shot. He bowled 1500 that squad after, I think. He had nothing before because he was like, I cannot bowl on this.
You can't stand. It's so slippery. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the standings after one game. Mick Stumpy, 256. Jonathan Hallberg, 236. Kenneth Junior Thomason, 235. Carl Walgreen, 235. Sophie, again over there, 226. Oscar, 225. Kenji, 223. William, 222. Niels, 212. And Martin ends on the top 10 with 211. And some striking going on now on game 2. I see. Let's go lane by lane. It's going to be easy to watch. We find Sophie bowling on 1 and 2 with Tor Inge and Martin Eyes and Roger Samuelsson. Mick Stumpy, the current leader, is bowling on 3 and 4. He already started with a double. He's the only one I've seen so far bowling backup.
Yeah.
Oliver. Next is 5 to 8. 5 to 8 we find Alexander Holm, Oscar Porkert, Joel started with front 3, Kim Boleby. And then we have on 7 and 8 Simon with spare double, William Berggren with spare double, Nikki and Carl on lane 7 and 8. And we move to 9 to 12. We find Ocean. Also we find Kenneth bowling with him. Frank Selander and Andreas Klinchting. Then on 11-12 we find Johannes with Fredrik, Anders and Marcus Janssen. Marcus started pretty low, but he can come back anytime.
He'll figure it out eventually.
Then we find Jonathan Samuelsson on 13 and 14 with William Hugesson, Sebastian Holst and Mio. Moving to 15-16, Mikael Nyberg with Susanna Ottosson. On 16 we find Caitlin Orishek with Leif Nyberg. And finally on the right corner we have Jonathan Hallberg with Hampus Karlsson. That name is familiar to me as well, Hampus. Is he any good or it just sounds familiar because it sounds familiar?
He's good. I haven't seen him much because most of the people, they bowl the youth tournaments and usually it's in a European tour or anything like at the same time, so I haven't seen, but I know he throws it quite nice.
I'm going to stay here so I can see him because it's so many names, sometimes I forget about them. Carrying on 18, we find Anton Persson and Henrik Kulev. And finally on 19 and 20, we have Oliver Persson with Erik Iberson. And 20, we find Niels and Jonathan. That's Niels on lane 19.
Good shot.
He's quite aggressive, but I tell you, when he finds it, he strikes like a machine.
Yeah, and he can throw reactive quite nice as well.
How old is he? 16, more or less? I guess. I think
I have to guess based on appearance, but I think he's just going to gymnasium, so I would guess he's 16.
I think it had to be around that because if I'm not wrong, on the PBA youth, he was bowling on the one category lower than Iskil and Tomo and all these guys.
And that one's up to 17, right? Or it starts at 17, I think.
I think so, yeah. I asked if I could bowl when I was here on the PBA youth, but they didn't allow me.
Too old?
Yeah, but it's a shame because actually, to be honest, I think I have, in all my life, I think I bowled one tournament of
youth.
Not being an adult. When I was 13, 14, there was no kids in Spain.
Yeah.
So I had to bowl with my father and whoever that was. But I think it was good for me because it forces you to bowl against the best bowlers there was in there.
Yeah.
And that probably explains why I made the national team at 14 and first medals in European competition 15 and 16. It forces you. And then you're 14, 15 and you're bowling with Thomas, who is 25, Raymond, who is 27, Torre, who is 26. Team Mac was 25.
Yeah.
So I shared my career with them when they are at their peak, and I'm just a baby boy. And I think no, but for me, I was very lucky because people
Yeah.
say, "How come you know so much about it?" I was just asking and asking and asking and sucking information from each one of them and different schools, obviously,
Mm.
because Team Mac had nothing to do with the school that Thomas was teaching.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like then I go back to Barcelona and I'm gonna test what he said. I'm gonna test what the other one said, and you take the best out of
Mm.
every school. And I think that is also very important for the younger generation to understand that the learning process is never done.
No.
There is always room for more knowledge, and the game keeps evolving. The game is alive. New material, new chemistries, new understanding of layouts, new understanding on how they. For you, it doesn't matter because you didn't use the thumb, but for us that we use the thumb,
Yeah.
it makes a big difference if the span is a little bit shorter, a little bit longer.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was very popular to have a very long span because we were trying to lift the ball on the release. Nowadays, it's a lot shorter because we just try to roll it.
Mm.
All these changes, if you think you know everything and you stop listening or you stop trying to learn more about it, then you become obsolete.
Yeah.
So for the new generation, we just want you to keep pushing, keep learning, never think you know everything already. Just keep finding information. Don't trust everybody. Just test it because there's
Yeah.
too much information and not always is right information or true information. Unfortunately, there is a lot of YouTube channels and Facebook postings that they're supposed to be super good and helping you,
Mm.
but some of them are not really accurate. Let's say
No.
it like that. It's
Yeah,
not.
everybody has their own view of bowling. Some is probably an easier way to bowl. Some is probably a way they want to bowl more.
I have a lot of fight mentally with especially the timing.
Mm.
Because there are so many coaches still out there teaching the timing the way it was 25 years ago, when there was a little bit less time between feet and ball,
Yeah.
and it was more of the follow through. But nowadays, when you have a little bit more of power, you need that extra time, so you really have a balance.
Mm.
And there is so much still today trying to make you check your timing on the first two steps or whatever you do on the first two steps. But then if you try to do two people exactly the same thing on step 1 and 2, and one is 70 years old and the other one is 15 years old, the speed on their body is so different, the flexibility on their body is so different,
Yeah.
then even if step 2 is exactly what you tell them to do because you think that's the timing, by when they get to the foul line, it's so different that they have two complete different timings.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so annoying and pushing and pushing and pushing to let people understand if you want to measure your timing, measure at the foul line. What's important is how you get to the foul line before the ball does. And once you understand that, you can adjust it to your own game.
Mm.
For example, when I was younger, I was doing quite of a longer push away on step 2 out of 5 because my feet was faster. Nowadays, if I don't feel like my back is on the right spot, I shorten my approach nearly a full step and I delay the push away a little bit.
Yeah.
That's going to help me get exactly the same timing. And that only becomes, or you can only do that as a bowler if you really have the understanding. As you can see, we do a lot of trying to help the people who's listening so they get a better idea on what to work on and what to practice on and how can they check their own timing if they are in some location that they don't have access to good coaching or whatever. But hopefully everything is going to be solved pretty quick with this strikey app.
Yeah, I think so
We're
too.
going to get out there pretty soon. Let's see a little bit what goes on. You see a lot of striking going anywhere?
Nils has the front 6 from what I've seen. They've been quite good.
On
most of them.
19 and 20.
Yes, sir.
Hampus made the front 5 and a spare. Simon is doing 4 bagger somewhere in lane 7. Let's go around. It's going to be easy, so we don't have to look at the big screen. Lanes 1 and 2. That was a week 10 for Sophie over there.
Can you pronounce her second name?
Schøygaard.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either.
Well, I don't know. In Swedish, the K is like North Shopping mostly, but that's
Yeah.
Danish, so I have no idea. Maybe I'm gonna have to ask her.
Probably some letters that's like combined, but they'll look like they're not. You probably say them in the same way, I guess.
How would you say that? Keyguard?
Tjejegard.
Keyguard. Yeah, I took it to English that time. Keyguard.
I would say something like that, but it's probably really wrong because they have such a different pronunciation on words.
I know, especially down here. I remember when I lived up there in Mora. Anytime I came down here, I couldn't understand anyone.
No.
It sounded so different. And now it's going to be the opposite. Now I'm spending much more time in Helsingborg, so if I go up there, I wouldn't understand anyone. It's very funny. I tell you a story. That's a very funny one. The first time I was in Gothenburg, the very first time I went to Gothenburg, I went to Frölunda Bowling to practice with Patrick Bowman. I got the ball drilled by Ulf Hemnes, and Mats Carlson was there as well.
Yeah.
But the thing I remember the most is I'm practicing, and there's one guy on the reception. He grabs his phone because it was ringing, and he starts talking. And I said to myself, "Fuck, this guy has asthma. He's got some problem in the lungs." And I said to myself, could it be because of the winter they have in here? It's so cold, and he has this kind of a breathing. And then I found out it's a way to say yes.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, I thought he was surprised. What the fuck are they telling him? He's so surprised. Every 3 words he goes like, and that for me is a surprise sound. You know? What happened? What happened there? And then I understood, no, it's not asthma, it's not a breathing problem, it's that thing. But then when I went to Stockholm, that doesn't work. They go like, shh.
Yeah, shoo.
To do the same thing.
And they say it in almost 10 different ways. We have the same in the northern parts of Sweden. If you go up to like Kalix and stuff like that, they will just, you. And you just have to understand that.
Yeah. So it's so many different ways to say yes. Because down here they say oh.
Yeah.
So you have one language, but you have 25 different dialects. And then you pretend that a guy from Barcelona can come up here and understand each one of you. You guys
It's
make
tough.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Oh my God, what I did just brought, that's my father. That's my father. Passed away last year. See? Montfort. Average 186. Fuck, that's many, many years ago. Man, Sweden. Who was in Sweden then? Mats, Tony. Fan, Tony. I remember Tony when I was a kid playing down in Barcelona. It was impressive to see. Wow, I've got a program from the European Cup teams 1982. No, nevertheless, but Scheveningen. Scheveningen is where I bowled my first European when I was 14, 15. Man, that's the house of one of the best bowlers I bowled with, Michael Sussin. Yep. And his father also passed away a couple of years ago, Wim. Yeah. Nice, thank you. Appreciate. Wonderful touch. Okay, did Niels carry on with the striking?
No.
No, he had an open frame.
Aussie has woken up as well in lane 9 and 10. He's going for 258 at the moment.
Let's go to 9 and 10, have a look.
And the other guy is going for 279, so it looks like a nice pair to watch.
It's a lot of striking here.
He's got plenty of power on lane 10.
He got so much bigger, yeah? Ocean, I remember him.
Yeah, he grew like 30 centimeters from nowhere. I remember they were kidding around like, oh, you're so short, you're so small. And then from nowhere, he's like, oh, I'm taller than you guys now. And I'm like, oh, damn.
I was so impressed with him the first time I saw him in Mora.
Yeah.
Because back then he was really small. You could see the ball was heavy for him. It was the first time I saw you as well.
Yeah.
And I got impressed on you, but his release.
He's able to generate so much power.
It was so cool to watch back then.
So much snap at the end of part. Sit there. Too much power.
Too much, yeah. A good,
Good
game.
game.
257. Pretty good.
Yeah. Gets him back on track. He's 46 over now, so.
How he's been doing?
He's been doing good. We've I think he's took more of a break this summer. He focused like more just on life and feeling good. So it's good getting that as well. Some people need some breaks. So he's still been competing every now and then. He's done a tournament every now and then. Now that we've started the club practices, he's been training hard, like for this at least. So I think he's still good on track, like bowling wise. But he's doing good in life as well, I would say.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that some of us forget about it. We get so focused on bowling that we forget there is a life outside the bowling alley. It can happen.
The guy you were speaking about before that was doing the backup ball, he's going for 280 right now if he's striking out and 3 and 4. Oh, sorry, I jinxed him.
It usually happens.
Yeah.
I'm the number one on jinxing, actually.
Yeah.
It's every time I see 7 in a row, even before on the previous squad, there was 2 or 3 with 6, 7 in a row. I jinxed them all without pretending, and there was another one on lane 1 and 2 with 7 in a row. I said, I'm not even going to touch the camera so I don't jinx him. It didn't matter. It happened anyway.
You're the reason why Nils didn't shoot 300. You'll have to apologize to him later then.
No, but this time it was you who mentioned it. I wasn't watching, so it can be me.
He looked so nice. I had to say something.
This one we share the guilt. Okay, so not a bad scoring pace actually. Previous squad, the first 2 squads was not so much urethane as it was earlier today. The big transition happened on game 3. It was when everybody started struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
This morning, the kind of early transition was on game 2 instead, but this time it did not happen on game 2 because I see a lot of strikes pretty much in every pair.
Yeah, looks like it's opened up just a little bit so people can get the hang as well.
So I'm gonna put you in our list of guests that set a number for the cut. Give me a number, Carl. Come on. What do you think the cut's going to be?
I think Martin's 1379 is quite a good guess. At the beginning of the tournament I said around 1350. Now I'm saying the early birds is gonna be around 1350, I think. But I would guess I don't want to go below Martin's guess because then I will just be in between everything. So I'm gonna say 1380. Just to be annoying.
All right. No, but to be honest, when I wrote it down yesterday or 2 days ago with Victor, I shot 1347. But after I played, I wanted to go up.
Yeah, I thought that would be a good guess in the beginning when seeing the pattern.
For me now it's 1375 is going to be the number.
1375?
Yeah, actually, since I'm the only one writing down, I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to change my...
It's still in the live stream, so I'm just going to go back to the live stream and somebody says it. They have to delete this footage.
Good luck finding the audio.
Isn't Victor allowed to change his score then as well?
No. He already won a Coca-Cola from me yesterday, so I'm not going to let him change it.
That's enough?
It's the payback time. I'm going to ask, by the way, Victor, when are you playing again? Tonight. Tonight.
Then we have to make a bet, me and Victor.
I'm gonna bet too. I think if there's a spot, I may bowl once more. I'm gonna try. If I break, because what happens if I really break? Then it's 6 months vacations of bowling. So
6 months vacation.
So it's a win-win. It's a 6-7. You know, win-win.
Then you just have to party then. There is, at the moment, it's a lot of spots. This is 22nd today, right?
Yes.
22nd
Saturday.
19 spots.
Yeah, then I'm probably going to bowl tonight as well.
Yeah. Then we can make a 3-way bet.
But you give me handicap, yeah? Because I'm an old person now. You have to give me 8 for being old, 8 for not practicing.
Come on.
8 for Spanish.
For Spanish? I'm also partially Spanish, so okay. I should also get handicap.
Okay, then you give me 4 then. 8, 8 and 4. That's already 20. 20 per game sounds good.
20 per game.
How many games a week you bowl? More or less.
Around 100, I would say. I don't bowl a lot of games when I practice.
100 games? Yeah, but how many shots in total? So it's enough to feel...
Yeah, it would probably be enough for... these past weekends, I've been practicing a little bit differently. Now I just try to analyze the shots and record them instead. But usually when I was younger, I would bowl maybe 11 hours a day.
Fuck, when I was younger, I could bowl before the 24 hours. But now, today, more or less.
20 to 30 games a week, I would say.
Okay, 30 games a week. So this week, let's say you bowl 30 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week you bowled as many games as I bowled the whole 2026.
Yeah.
So it makes sense you give me some handicap.
Yeah, you can get some minus if you want that. it's like our local league. I think the pensioners. I faced one guy. He had 110 pins. I had minus 30. He starts with a spare. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
that was the game.
Game over.
Game over. It's so fun bowling against them though. Still, you can get 10 pins.
10 pins. Like a lady.
In
Okay.
between.
Okay. Fair. We have a deal.
Yeah, sure.
We have a deal.
Victor gets no handicap.
So that means I gotta go and find a bank so I can take off some money from the, one TNT. What's it called?
TNT.
TNT.
What do you mean TNT? You're gonna rob a bank? Or?
If I have to pay for his Coca-Cola, your Coca-Cola, because 10 pins is not gonna be enough. I know I need more. Yeah. Okay. We were at 20.
Yeah.
So it was 8 for pensioner.
Sure, 15 then. That's in between 10 and 20.
8 for an old man. 8 for not practicing. That's 16. 5 for being Spanish. That's 21. But since I can spare, I can take away 5. So
you can look at it in different ways. You're a bit older, you have more experience. That means the 2 younger guys, they should have a handicap. And also, you haven't been bowling that much. Also, your body's not as worn out as ours.
Okay.
So maybe we should get the handicap.
So we're gonna end up on pair. Yeah, we both scratch.
Now you get 15. That's fair.
15. Okay.
15 is
that gives me enough motivation to
give 90 pins.
Give it a try. Give it a try. Give it a try. So 90 pins and 6 games. That means I'm still gonna be about 100 pins short. That's my educated guess on myself. But you never know, because on the other hand, I must be honest.
They look good the last 2 games.
I know if I find the rhythm, I still have it in me. The problem is to find that rhythm. It's like a Pandora box. You open that and you start searching. Everything is coming out except your rhythm.
Yeah. I think everybody has it in them as long as like the mental game is there.
No, not like mine. Not like mine.
Is hard.
I was extremely good back then.
Have to bring back Louis Weber Cup.
The Weber Cup. Oh, that was a funny story. Did you know that? Not that I won the first cap, the first point, but how I did it.
No.
I explain. We got there to Poland to bowl that first edition of the Weber Cup. And
it was in Poland?
It was in Poland the first time,
cool.
in Warsaw. It was terrible. There was no crowd. We had a single lane and no crowd. It was empty. So they had to put fake people on
like Wii Sports and stuff like that?
The first edition was like that, unfortunately, yes. It was a shame because it was the same people that was running that Ball 10-pin Masters.
Yeah.
And that was fully packed every time we bowled. But back to what I was saying. There was supposed to be a mechanical responsible from AMF when it was not called Kubica but just AMF, but he lost the plane, so he never got there.
Yeah.
And you can see Thomas, Tim Mac, and they're all looking at the machine and they're all looking at each other like, what do we do? What do we do? And I come there with 16 or 17 years old. I can fix it. What do you mean? I say, it's the same oil machine I have in Barcelona. So can you do a program? Of course. Okay, go ahead, make a program and we test it and we see what goes on. So obviously I did exactly the same program I had back home.
That's smart.
And then they make a few shots and they go like, yeah, it's okay, it's playable, you can play all around the lane. And Thomas says, you're gonna bowl the first match. Thomas was a captain. And I had to bowl against Mike Mullin. He was the current bowler of the year, also lefty, so he was bowling outside. It was the same shot as me. But I was lucky enough to beat him. So the first point ever for Europe,
that's yours.
It's ours. It's ours forever.
That's a cool thing to have in the baggage.
After that, if they didn't continue with my good performance of winning points, it's not my fault. I haven't been there anymore.
Are you gonna tell that to Martin and all the guys?
I told them already. It's not my fault. I wasn't there.
What's he
anymore.
saying then? Does he agree?
No, fuck. You know how you don't want to know how much fun they had on me the other day, because when I tested a little bit the pattern, I said, how many is in the step ladder? They said 5. And I'll make it 4 then. And they started laughing like, what have you been smoking, Luis? Come back to earth. Come down to earth. But You have to be fun. If you cannot perform in the lanes, at least you have to be funny, so people doesn't really pay attention to what you're doing on the lanes.
Yeah, but either way, if you're funny enough, I think confidence is still key. Like, if you believe in yourself, like, it's still.
But that's the thing. I believe in myself, but when I turn around, I see so many faces not believing that they make me doubt myself afterward.
Just have to put like a box between when you enter the approach.
Oh, well, like I did in some of those Instagram videos. When I put the box, those are the only ones that paid out with 20,000 views. If I make a perfect shot, properly explaining things, and then you go back 600 views. What happened there? Yeah, and it's only the girls from the nightclub. Only the girls from the nightclub that feel sorry, like, oh, poor DJ. He went back to bowling and nobody's paying attention to him. Let's give him a like.
Poor DJ. When I upload reels and stuff like that, I just get like older guys. They're like, "Why are you throwing the ball like this? Why don't you have your thumb in?"
But that is a very funny thing because I'm not old, but I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm not two-handed, but I don't know where all this hatred to the two-handed bowling comes from. I don't understand it either. I mean, to me, it makes no sense. And I think I told you before, the first time I met Jason, many years ago, obviously, I think he was still 18 or 19. He came to bowl to Europe with Andrew Frawley, which was a very good friend of the group, Thomas Story team. And when I saw him bowling, I already had seen Osku playing two hands. But you know me, I always have to say something weird.
Yeah.
So I met him, I talked to him, and then I look at him and I say, you know what, Jason? There is only one thing I play two hands with. So the face he had on me was like, who the fuck is this guy? What is he telling me about? What are you talking about? Then he realized I was the clown in the group, and it's funny. So even when we meet many years after, he still asks me, you still play with two hands? So it's kind of the joke that stays there.
You could say the DJ table as well. You used two hands on that one, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't a DJ back then.
No,
because when I met Jason, I haven't quit bowling yet.
Yeah.
It happened. It actually happened the year after. 1 year after I met him. I got tired. It was a world championship in Malaysia. It was a world championship that was sponsored by Columbia 300. I was a staff for Columbia 300. That season, they had released a ball that was called the Game Pearl. I had drilled like 7 or 8 of them. I made several 300 games with each one of them.
Yeah.
And when I was going to take off to Malaysia, the president of the company sends me an email. You don't need to bring any balls. We are sponsoring the event. You can drill whatever you need in there. I'm like, okay, cool. So no extra luggage, no bullshit.
Yeah.
I fly there, and I remember specifically saying, make sure there is at least a couple of Game Pearls for me in there. Yeah. No worries. When I got there, it was the new Quake Gold, which was like the IQ Gold thing.
Yeah.
Pearl yellow. The regular Quake, which looked like a peach purple. That was the color, and three or four other balls. Anything, but not the Game Pearl. So I drill, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 balls. We do the practicing, we do the official practicing, and the shot, to be even more annoying, it was on the outside.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, this is my big chance.
Yeah.
And that year, I was particularly bowling good. But we do this official practice, and every single ball was soft hand, soft hand, soft hand, soft hand, spin it more, soft hand. It didn't matter what I do. So I called the guy, I said, I need this ball, because this ball is the only one that really goes long for me.
Yeah.
And he said, no worries, take a taxi to that bowling alley, whatever. There's a pro shop. They have balls there. So I took a taxi, I went there, I drilled 2 of them, and came back to the World Championships. And when I went to register the balls, the registering was
not allowed?
Not anymore.
Aye.
So I had the 2 balls, I couldn't use them, and I bowled the whole championship with the balls that were week 10, week 10, week 10, week 10. So I bowled like 210 average. I did not even make it on top 16. And I was so angry that I bought myself a flight ticket 2 days before that my flight ticket with the national team was.
Yeah.
I didn't say goodbye to anybody. I flew back home, and I did not step in a bowling alley in 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I completely
3.5
left it.
years.
3.5 years.
So that was like the biting point, or what you say, the breaking point?
No, what happened actually is I started working as a DJ,
Okay.
and when I was done on a night set, I still lived 100 meters from the bowling alley.
Mm.
And because it was a DJ night, I had been drinking, I didn't want to drive, so I decided to walk home.
Yeah.
And while I was walking home, I passed in front of the bowling alley, and I see Robert Anderson and Martin Larsen outside the bowling alley, and they go like, "Fan, Luis, what the fuck are you doing here?" And
Where
I'm
was
like,
this?
2000, 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
One of the two springs, because we had the big money tournament back then. We had two at the year, one spring, one in the summer.
Ah.
So they came for the spring one, and nobody had seen me for over 3 years. I disappeared completely. So when I was passing by, they were surprised, like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I said, "This is my city. What are you doing in here?" And they said, "No, it's the Galassa tournament. It's." And I remember, I'm not sure it was Martin or Robin said, "It's a shame you don't bowl anymore because it's a gutter shot." So I walked into the bowling alley. I went to the guy in the desk and I said, "Give me the locker room keys." "Why?" "I'm going to see if I still have a couple of game pearls down there." It was still stuck in my brain.
Yeah.
I signed up for the squad without sleeping. I came directly from the nightclub, a little bit drunk, and I signed up because I found two of those bowls. And I say, I'm going to bowl the next squad.
Mm.
Game 1, 139. I remember as the 116 in Sunbeacon. I remember perfectly. 139, and everybody making fun of me.
Yeah.
What the fuck you thought? You haven't stepped in a bowling alley for three years. You think you can do this? I said, this is my garden. This is my bowling alley.
Mm.
Wait till the end. Next 5 games, 1250. And I haven't bowled in 3.5, not even stepped in a bowling alley.
Yeah.
Then I went home, slept for a couple of hours, went to become a DJ, and then on Sunday I came again to bowl the final without sleeping and coming straight from the DJ booth. And I made the step ladder.
Yeah. Did you win the tournament?
No, I lost. I don't remember to who. But it was like, I still can do it with this ball.
Yeah.
This is the ball I wanted in there, and they didn't send. And then I took off, and I stayed away for another couple of years.
You just wanted to show something?
Yeah, I just showed up. If I haven't seen Martin and Robert outside the alley, I probably would have just walked home.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that simply happen.
If I would be a DJ and I would have drank some alcohol, I probably wouldn't think, let's go to a bowling alley and play a tournament. Honestly, that would not be my first response. If I didn't have a motivation to go in there, like I saw some people I knew.
But I wasn't going to. I was walking home.
Yeah.
I was just walking home. I saw them outside. I said, hey, it's an outside shot. Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
okay. It's my time to show it then. What I couldn't do 3 years ago, I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
So, but I think, and that takes me back to one of the things I do mostly now as a coach. Bowlers, they always try to perform and make the perfect shot.
Mm.
And what I'm trying to, based also on my own experience, that every time I retire for a few years and I bowl the first event, I always bowl super good.
Mm.
And I realize it's because I'm demanding nothing on myself.
No.
I'm just letting it happen. So I'm trying to explain to my students now, when you get into a competition, to try to let the automatic part of the brain work for you. And I put them an example. When you're sleeping, you keep breathing, and you don't even think you're breathing. And your breathing is super steady.
Yeah.
But when you try to control your breathing, like, okay, now you're going to hold your air for a few seconds, and then it's not that easy. So what I tell them is, instead of trying to make the perfect shot, just focus on your target and focus on ball motion so you know which ball you need to have.
Yeah.
In terms of angle. And when you let the brain do, it doesn't matter if it's a 10, if it's an 8, or if it's a 4.5 in your technique. But it's going to be a 4.5 every single fucking shot.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to do anything. So what's going to happen is the muscle memory is taking control. And whatever the technique is, better or worse, but it's automatic.
Yeah.
And that allows you to put your focus 100% just on target and pin carry or angle, entry angle. And in today's game, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, when you had to be consistent, it's a different thing. You had to do different things with the hand and just speed control. But today you have 6 balls, not 1 ball.
Yeah. I would say the difference now in bowling, from what I've heard from my dad and everybody, it's now now the game is not it's not perfect shots. Now it's a game of misses.
In a way, you could say it like that. It's finding more room over and over again. But for me, it's even simpler than that. Because if I go back to when I was a kid and bowling with these guys like Tim Mack and Thomas and so, if any of them bowled 229, 230 average in any tournament, it was a step ladder. 100% of the times.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you need 250 to be on the step ladder.
Yeah.
So that means you need to have a much better control on the carry. If you don't really understand the entry angles of each ball, then we have so many examples today like, oh, I was so unlucky today. I did so many good shots, but I left the 10 pin 25 out of 40 shots. Then it's not unlucky. You have no fucking clue what you're doing.
No.
And that's a little bit the real main difference I see from the game today to when I was a kid.
It's a bit of a shame because watching it from a spectator's like view, I understand you want to see the scores, but being a bowler that's watching behind, you don't want to see somebody go stone 8. They lose the match. You want to see like, now he has to move. Now he has to do something different with his hand. Because I think those tournaments are way more fun.
Yes.
I played a tournament in Denmark like a week ago, whereas I think the cut was 1294. And for being the European tour, that's low. It's still it's still 215 average or something like that. But still, that's the fun tournaments. And then you go, for example, I go to Madrid. I go down and bowl like I could do what I want. I would still bowl 1400 in that center because they oil something that has 5 boards to throw. It's still, I think back on them, they make a great tournament. It's such great hospitality. I just wish there would be more hard parents out there.
No, exactly. We're not actually bitching about any organization. It's just it's just a situation of how the game is today, how we are bowling everywhere today.
Yeah.
And I agree completely. I don't know if you have the same issue, but for me, for example, the bigger the ratio, the lower is my score. I'm not, because I come from that era that you really had to hit the same target over and over again. And when you put me in one of those patterns that if you miss 5 to the right, the ball is going back to the pocket, and you miss 5 to the left and the ball is going back to the pocket. But what happens to me is I miss 1 to the right and then it overhooks. And I miss 1 to the left, and I never get to hit the pocket the right way, and I leave the 2-8-10 over and over again.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel stupid because you see, like, fuck, I can read the lane, I know where I need to stand, I'm missing that little bit, and I shoot to 10. And this guy in here has no idea what he's doing. He's missing 5 in one way, 5 in the other way, and he's shooting 1500.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like, do I really want to bowl in this kind of pattern anymore?
I think when a ratio gets over 6 and it gets towards those parents, then I think it's special because for it to be that high ratio, it has to be so much push in the hang. So then when you want to move inside of the transition and want to do something logical, it's not.
No, it doesn't
you
work.
You just stand in the same spot instead and do the same thing, and the lane's going to come to you.
It's terrible. It's terrible. And we have so many of this kind of events down there where you see bowlers of top 16, 14, 50. And then you put them on a ratio of, I don't know, Allsvenskan 39 when, like we bowled in Karma, which was 2.1 or even nearly 3, and nobody makes par.
No.
Not even the par.
People think, have you ever bowled in Montreal?
Yeah.
And beaten path?
Yeah.
Nowadays, people think that's hard.
Yeah, I know.
When I speak to people. Of course, not the bowlers that are good. Like, there's a difference between good bowlers, in my opinion. But I feel like it shouldn't be something you can say is hard, because then you try these patterns. Like, for example, we used to bowl, when I bowled Elite Series when I was younger, we had a pattern that was called flat 40, and it was 1 in ratio, and it was survival. It was spare shooting. Now you think beaten path is hard. Like,
yeah, middle road is being complicated lately. Yeah. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I still, even though, of course, it's still way harder to score on those harder patterns, it's still way more fun, even if you would be bowling a little bit worse, because you actually have to think then, in my opinion. And you have to trust yourself, because if you doubt yourself on a pattern like that...
No, then you're dead. Yeah. Then you're dead. It's game over.
If you think about the toughness of it, it doesn't work. But if you just go down and you bowl and you relax, you loosen up your swing, it's still possible.
You've opened up a very interesting window that we usually don't speak so much about, which is a little bit of the mental part of the game. Everybody, and I don't know about you and the people you help, because you're probably already helping some bowlers and some friends.
Yeah, some.
But how many have you found that they ask you about mental things? Not many.
No.
People usually is about balls, layouts, what do you do with your hand, what do you do with this, but nobody asks about the mental part, and it's such an important part of the game.
People aren't curious enough, in my opinion, in that way.
Or maybe they don't even realize how important that aspect has become also.
Yeah.
Especially, as we were saying, now that it's almost a carry contest in many of the tournaments. Okay, Victor, should we... That's the updated on 2 games, right? Because we have fun, we speak so much, and we haven't paid much attention to what goes on. Mick Stampe leading the squad after 2 games with 470. Then we find Niels with 456. Ocean 446. Carl Worgen 436. Hampus Karlsson 428. Sophie 428. Tor Inge 426. Kenneth Jr. 425. Kenji 423. And Jonathan Hallberg 418. We are almost done with game 3, so we're going to make a very quick view around, see what we have in here. Lanes 1 to 4, and the only one with kind of a decent is going to be Joel with, if his bear is going to be a 220.
Yeah.
And Kim, if he strikes out, is going to be 224. 3 and 4, they're a little bit delayed. They're still on the 6th frame, so we'll come back to them in a little while. Lanes 5 to 8, we see a single miss, but 4 in a row for Frank Cylinder. Sophie started with the front 5, 6 pair, 9 miss strike. 7 and 8, we find Marcus. Still not performing yet.
No.
Bowling on the same pair, it's Kenji and Mick Stampe. Mick is doing quite okay. It's a triple spare strike, spare strike. Looking to strike out for a 259 and go all the way up to 129 over in total. If we move to 9 to 12, Oscar is doing okay with the front 4 and then no open frames, and not any real high game on this site. So let's move even further right. Ocean is going to strike out for a 232. Good job.
Let's go. Now you jinx him. Look.
No. He's a lefty.
Lefty.
I only jinx the right because it's upside down. I could only go 232 for Ocean, 678. That's a good series for 3 games.
Yeah.
Looking very good. How old is he now?
He is 19.
19, so he still goes for the under 21
he
category.
has one more if he wants it, or if he gets chosen, of course. But we'll see.
Also in there we have Kenneth Jr. with a chance of striking out for a 227. Kenneth was with 25 over, so it's not as many as he wanted to have, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
Also,
he needs this one though.
Yeah, he got it. Also, we're getting close to games 5 and 6 where there is the turbo option. The turbo is already quite high, right, Victor? I think somebody shot 280 on the game 5. You have it somewhere in there. 278 for Jesper, but Jesper is not going to count because he's already in.
And the Jacob guy made 1400, so...
So the same thing. And then we have Mons with 267.
Yeah, like 1370, something like that.
But he's also on the 21, so it could be even an early bird.
And Tomo should be in with his 1480. Should be enough.
Tomo.
Maybe it's Lucas then.
It could be, yeah, but it's 249. It's many squats to go, so it's probably going to go higher. Yeah. And game 6, Tomo 289, Jonathan Hallberg 279. That's the one I remember from yesterday. 279 for Jonathan. That's true.
It's a close score, most likely.
Yeah, and it's good that it's a 79 because then you force them already to reach the 280, or since you were the first one to do it.
Yeah.
You have also in there the girls category, Victor, so we can give some more information to everyone that's watching and let them know how he's doing at the moment. So we have Sophie at the lead with 1370. Second position is Josephine from Spaddedam, 12:44. Then we find Nicole. She has a very good technique. I like a lot how she does it. Nicole, 12:21. I think she just needs to have just slightly upper body, a little bit more vertical. It's a little bit too low in the head.
Yeah.
And that causes a bit of a lose of a balance. And also the swing, it goes a little bit too much from up to down. So if she could be a little bit higher, she would have even more power.
Yeah, it would be a small rise as well in the last step if you're too far down. It's a little bit hard.
Then we find Maya. And we find Nicole Brandin, Molin, and Stephanie. I thought Stephanie was going to do more, to be honest. She felt a little bit lost on that first squad she bowled early in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe she does more in the next one. I think she's bowling the next squad. This one after this one.
Yeah, we should expect some more scoring for her. She's a good bowler, yeah?
Yeah, she's really accurate. She bowled the U21 Worlds as well in Malaysia. They took, I think, bronze in mixed.
That's true. That's true. Not long ago. What was it? A month ago? 3 weeks ago?
I suppressed that one, so I think like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. I don't know. Time passes so fast. The older you get, the faster it happens. It's unbelievable.
I actually agree, and I'm only 20, so.
So imagine when you get to my age.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna forget the day before then.
You won't remember my name when you get to my age.
Probably.
I remember when I was 20, I used to do this streaming with a Spanish guy. I can't recall his name any longer. He was funny though.
I'll say the DJ. Not the bowler, the DJ.
What was the DJ talking about bowling? It's bowling. It's bowling.
Yeah, it's
what
bowling.
can you expect? It's not
bowling.
football. It's bowling. What about football? You see how many good bowlers have? How many not bowlers? Footballers we have in Barca again. All the young ones, Lamine and Gabi and.
Yeah, I was there when being in Madrid. It was during the World Championships.
Oh, that's true. So you happen to see how crazy they went on. It's a funny thing because when the World Championship was starting, especially in Madrid, because it was filled with Barcelona players, they were rooting for France because Mbappé plays for Madrid. But at the end, like it happened when they won in 2010, they forgot that it was filled with Barcelona players and they became so proud that we are world championships. But imagine for us as Catalan, we can go and tell them, hey, 2 times world champion, 2 times filled with Barca players.
Yeah.
They get so angry about it.
Yeah, we went out to watch that game. I bowled a step player against Andrea, another amazing bowler. And I was so pissed after that. I was like, I'm just going to hang in my room. I'm just going to sleep. And then I was like, you know what? I'll go out to watch the game. It's probably only the time I'm going to be in the same country as the team.
As the team that's playing it.
And the favorites as well, I would say. Even though Argentina has Messi, who's amazing in my opinion.
The GOAT.
There will never be somebody like him, my friend.
No, I think...
Him and Ronaldo, of course, but still, I just...
Nah, but that's...
I love Messi.
But Messi and Ronaldo, it's like...
Another word.
It's like comparing me and Thomas. Thomas is Messi, and Ronaldo is so bad it could be me. It's a big, it's a huge
He's still one of the greats.
He's still one of the greats. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing myself to Ronaldo, but I'm trying to see how big the gap it's in my eyes between Messi and Cristiano, because there was an interview on Titi Henry, the French guy that played in Arsenal forever.
The guy was so fast.
Played a couple of years in Barcelona, and he tells one time on a practice they were making a match, the Barca players in a practice, and somebody kicked Messi, and Guardiola was still the coach, and Guardiola said, keep playing, and Messi got so pissed off.
Yeah,
he steal the ball. He drove to his own goalkeeper and then did like this with the head and said, come get it. He dribbled the whole fucking team, scored the goal, and then went to Guardiola and said it was foul. And Henry still explains that to help people understand how different Messi really was from
I feel like he's
anyone
made
else.
for football. When you see him in like public and stuff like that, you're like, He just wants to go to the football field. He's always thinking about it.
He's humble and quiet and
he's also
silent.
so analyzing. You can see when he enters the field, that's a brutal stone 8 for mixed stampen on lane 7 as well. But it's so weird watching him when playing football. It's amazing.
It was something that it's going to be very hard to see again.
There's never going to be anybody like him. I'm convinced about it. Sure, Haaland and they're great, but somebody who's that, like, he's not the biggest guy either, but he's so fast and his body's so centered towards the ground.
Exactly the center of gravity for him is like they never make him fall.
You see all these things where he's dribbling the ball as he's falling down. It doesn't matter. He's so good. It's just.
And the one thing that nobody talks about, it's his determination.
Yeah.
I mean, his determination. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I don't care. I'm not stopping for any other thing. And you know, this World Cup, he was crying after every game.
Yeah.
It's because his father was dying,
and
he didn't want to go to play that World Cup. But it was his father who said, "Go because you can win one more."
Yeah.
So
I'm convinced that's the reason they made the finals, just because of Messi.
It could be. It could be because he made the whole team play.
But they died on the pitch for him.
Okay. Let's see if we can
Oceanis
update over there.
Up. 3 in a row for Aussie and 80 over before this. So
what is he bowling now?
He's on 17-18.
17-18. Let's go have a look over there.
His body's bowling good as well, Kenneth.
Here we are. 15. No.
And Mick he's 95 over after 3 games, so I think it's him in first, and then it's Aussie, or if Nils shot a high game, maybe.
I haven't seen, but see if you can reach that mouse over there. And
which one?
Yeah, that's the mouse, but look at the big one, and try to, if you find, there, it's on the top now, you see, over there, go down, and refresh this one. Yeah, that's it.
Not yet.
No, not yet. We're going to have to wait a couple of minutes
I should
more.
be better at those stuffs. I'm 20 years old. I still don't know how to operate it. You should put my dad in here and see what he does.
Oh, no. Then it's 2 of us not knowing anything about it. only the microphone. And
you need Victor to come back.
Yeah, we have been left alone. It's like, let them talk.
It's a bit scary.
No matter what, yeah. Now is when we can do some advertisement for some of our sponsors. Anybody wants to pay out, it's time to do it. We are free, we are listening. Just put some comments. We will put the bank account later on and available for you. You can switch. You have switch for me. You can be Zoom for me. And but jokes apart, game 4 already. As you very well said, we have some striking on the 17 and 18 already.
Yeah.
And
Kim's got front 3 as well on the same pair as us in them.
It's a lefties fight now, yeah?
Yes, I think it's 3 lefties.
3 lefties in the pair.
The other strikes. The righty got strikes as well, of course, Jewel. He's bowling pretty decent as well. It's like 60 over right now.
Where is he from?
Or no, 45 over. He's from Norrköping. Cascade.
Norrköping.
If he still plays there. I think he does, though. It's been a while since bowling Swedish leagues.
Do you have any idea who's taking Pontus Andersson's spot in Nässjö? Has it been decided?
Do you mean as a coaching guy or do you mean in the team?
No, as a coaching guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about it. But
okay,
I
so
know
maybe it's.
I think it's finalized. Though.
Okay. So it's something. Well, I'll find out sooner or later.
I think it was Malin. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking out of curiosity.
I've just heard it from somebody, but I'm not sure if it's finalized. So
it's not like I'm gonna ask them to put me, because I've already lived in the north of Sweden. I had enough. Once in a life, it's tillräckligt.
I thought you meant in the team, like Clan.
Oh, in Clan. Well, that's true, because he's not bowling, so they need someone else in Clan as well.
Yeah, he did really good in Swedish League as well. But they got the academy and everything, so they'll probably find somebody. Maybe not as good as Pontus, because he was good, but hopefully they will find somebody good.
For sure it's going to be someone using a purple hammer.
No, it's not allowed anymore. But maybe the 78D, but I don't think it's as good.
It's very different. Obviously, it's a very different ball. It has to be a very different ball because, for starters, since it's not going to be as soft, they try
Yeah,
to
it's way harder.
they try to compensate that by putting a big block inside of it, but that also makes the motion a little bit different. But I must say, since I'm not signed with anybody and I can speak freely, the hardness on the 78 purple, that should have been the hardness on the 73 purple. Because I've measured a few of them,
Yeah.
and they are 73.
Yeah.
Not 78.
Yeah. But isn't it, if it's 78, it's not allowed to go under 72 or something like that? It's the sixth rule. Something about it?
You got me with my pants down on my feet because it's something I cannot know, or I don't know, honestly. But back in the day, when I bowl and I had to know these kind of things for real, if it was 73, it was 73.
Yeah, I understand.
As soon as it's 72.9, it's illegal. And in my understanding, if this has to be 78, it has to be 78. Because if it's all the way down to 73, it's already softer than any of the other brands. But it's not my responsibility. It's not my job. I'm not a urethane fan anyway.
I thought you were. You always throw urethane when I see you.
Yeah, every time. Yeah,
IQ counts.
I really love to leave the 510 over and over again, and the 810, and that's perfect when I use the. Especially if I put some surface on it, then it's 5-8-10 sometimes even. Okay, let's give it one more try. See if we can properly have the scores now updated to 3. Yes, we have them. So. Leading on the squad so far, Mick Stump is 695, games of 256, 214, 225. Number 2, we find Ocean. I think you bring him some luck by standing here and pushing.
Yeah, maybe. Just because you were speaking about him in split.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, but he's still bowling good.
Okay. I'm going to try something different. There's no fucking way he's going to spare that split. Maybe it works all the way around.
Yeah, maybe some voodoo.
Just giving a try. So we were saying Ocean is second with 678. Then we find Carl Walgren bowling already on lane 19 and 20 at the moment. Carl has 663 on score. Then we find the little one, Niels, with 661. And then is Sophie. Why am I not surprised to see Sophie up there again? 652. Our beloved Frank Kennedy Jr., 651. Then we find Toringe, 649. Oscar, 641. Joel with 636. And finally, Kenji is closing the top 10 for this squad with 632. Was it a bit deep in the pocket? Or was it a bad shot for Ocean?
Just a little bit too high. It looked like the speed was a little bit too low on that shot. He's going a little bit straighter though, the Kenneth guy. Nice messenger. What's your opinion about that and string pins and stuff like that? Because it's a really special topic to bring up, the string pins. It's really sensitive for a lot of people.
I'm gonna try to be very honest. To be how could I say it? Obviously, I prefer no strings.
Yeah.
Because that's like the bowling we grew up. Obviously, when I was a very very little kid, we had already one bowling alley that was open many years ago from the 1950s or something. It was a string, but it was a very different string machines than the ones we have now.
Yeah.
Because the free fall was non-existent. And the good thing, I can understand the industry that they want to build string machines because it's cheaper, has less maintenance. You don't really need a mechanic standing in the back of the lane. And some of them, because I went when they were really becoming big again. It was a couple of summers ago or 3 summers ago when it was the Bowl Expo in Las Vegas. So I spent so much time on AMF, Brunswick, and US bowling, really testing that free fall. Because it was there. So I was really testing, dropping pins and see how they were falling.
Yeah.
And it's 100 times better than it was back in the day. And it has one advantage, at least some of them has the advantage that allows you to decide how strong you want that string to be.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be like, okay, the pin suddenly feels much heavier?
Yeah.
Or do you want it so it just takes everything? I've read somewhere or I've heard somewhere that EJ Tackett, his own bowling alley, has strings.
Yeah.
And that he loves to practice on strings because it's harder to make them fall.
Yeah.
And then when he bowls on a bowling alley without strings, he feels his spin action is much stronger. But I honestly wouldn't like to have like world championships or
No.
this kind of true competition with strings, because then he's adding one more piece of luck into the equation.
Yeah.
This bouncing back, this sparing the 4-6, sparing the 7-10. And then there is obviously some places where the string machines are terrible. I bowled.
Yeah.
Remember, I said I bowled like 30 games in the whole season. There was one squad we had to bowl the national tournament, the national championships, in 150 kilometers away from Barcelona. It's string machines. And it was one of those super wet dries I told you before. So one shot I missed inside, and I didn't even hit the head pin. So I left the 1-2-4.
Yeah.
So I took the strike ball, I moved 4 to the right, slowed down, took the spare, and the ball hit exactly the 1 and the 2.
Yeah.
You know what pin was standing?
The 3.
The 2.
The 2.
So the ball hit the pin. The ball touched the pin 1, 2, and 4, and the 2 pin did like.
I just span around watching you.
And I turned around and I said, if you guys put me 7 and 2 on this pair, I'm taking off, because the ball has touched the pin. Just the string, for some reason, it didn't want it to move.
No.
So it stood there like if it was a fucking car instead of a bowling pin.
Yeah.
And of course they put 7 and 2, and I was so fucking upset. I said, you can go to hell.
That must be so hard, because I've heard somewhere there's supposed to be judges when you have string pins. How do you judge and see a small thin line down there if it's going around the pin or not?
Nah, and especially because everybody that volunteers to become that judge, they usually have been in the game for 2 or 3 years, so their eyes, they're not really ready to see.
No.
And then they start looking at you, scratching their heads like, I don't know, what should I tell you? Especially when it's a person like me, who's been bowling forever. I'm the big name in there, and they don't dare to tell me. And it doesn't matter if I look at the humble face like, don't worry, you can come and talk to me. I'm not gonna bite you.
No.
But it's a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
It's one of the negative sides of our sport not being super professional and not having so much money in it.
Yeah. I think there's a big difference between different string pins. There's probably something that's way better. And it's still the same for everybody, but still, if you're losing a match and somebody hits the 10 pin and everything trips, then it's probably not the best feeling in the world.
Well, then you probably take 3.5 years to go back into a bowling alley.
Then you enter the real pins again. Still, it's probably great for like saving money and stuff like that. It's a great thing to have.
That's the positive side that I can see for small countries.
Yeah.
Small countries, I mean countries that have not many bowling alleys like you guys have here in Scandinavia. Nowadays, Barcelona, for example, is a super expensive city, especially the land. If I want to open a bowling alley like this one, 20 lanes, I need 3 million euros. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's insane.
So if at least on the actual machinery, I can save more than 50%.
Yeah.
And then I don't need a mechanic, so that means I can skip a salary for the rest of the, for as many years as the business is open.
Yeah, saving money and everything you can.
So at the end you end up going the cheap way, because we are humans. That's what's going to happen.
If people, they're like, they're drinking some alcohol, they're just bowling, I don't think it matters for them.
No, for them it's the same.
They did have a PBA tournament on string pins, I remember, where you watched EJ and Troop face in the finals.
That's true.
And they said it was okay. It was not the same, of course. It's not the same as regular bowling, but it was okay, they said.
But that is the thing that also makes you wonder. Since it's okay, but how many sports do you think the super, because we're talking about the best of the best, bowling for the best events. Can you imagine Messi, back to Messi and Cristiano, like, it's only one game. We're going to play in sand.
Yeah, true.
It's cheaper. We don't have to put seeds. We don't have to water it.
Yeah.
It would never happen. And that is one of the sad sides of our sport.
Yeah. It looks like people are being forced to play way, way deeper this game, so it looks like some fun stuff is happening around the lane.
Transition was game 3. Now we are already in game 4.
You
So
can
the
see
lanes are opening. Yeah.
It's going quite far down. He still has a double, and he's pacing 209, so. There's still a lot of strikes out there, but it just looks like it's really scattered. I don't know if there's as many strikes now as it was before, though. It looks tough.
There's a few lanes that always seem to pay a little bit lower, especially 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always a little bit lower scoring for some reason.
Yeah, I can understand 1 and 2, especially. I think there's another quite flat pair if it's 13, 14. It's some pair that's a bit flat in the middle.
Yeah, 13, 14. Yesterday I finished there, 13, 14. And already when I said there was quite a big room on the breakpoint, but lane 13, it took me a while to really... I ended up having to slow down the speed on that one.
Yeah.
Because it was a 2-8, I moved to, 2-8, I moved to. It was still very weak, so I said, okay, slow it down instead. That's what happens when you bring one ball only, right?
Yeah, true.
You don't have that many choices.
I remember Robert used to do the same. He just went with the phase 2, always. Phase 2.
Anderson.
Yeah, he went to the coach and then for an hour, every now and then, it was. It's probably hard not bowling when you've been that good. It's like, I'll bowl this tournament, I'll go with phase 2. He went to Iceland, he shot 1500. It was like, yeah, okay, this was quite fun. But he only brought a phase 2 when I saw him, and the Marvel things.
Yeah, but I mean, probably we do that because we have already bowled with one ball only many tournaments.
You had one ball challenges, stuff like that, right?
Not only because of that, but we had 3 balls for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just today that you drill a new ball every week.
Yeah, but I feel like they're dying out way, way earlier right now than they used to, like compared to my old balls.
But also because there is maybe 10 times the amount of oil there was 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
And on top of that oil is on a synthetic surface, so that means it's not but that it's also sucking part of that oil. So all the oil stays on that surface, and the ball is just gonna suck it no matter what. Was your ears beeping, Robert? We were just talking about you. We were talking about your 1500 in with the phase 2. What was it? Iceland. When you travel with one ball only. And that's the way you do it. You bring one ball, you shoot 1500, and then you have the cheap supermarket, which is my version. You bring one ball, but you shoot 1100 instead.
It's like Swedish League, purple hammer. I'm gonna sneak away for a little bit now, but
yeah, go ahead, man. And first of all, thank you for all the time you've been here. It's been a pleasure. Go have some fun, and I'll see you later on. Yeah.
See you later, bud.
See you later, man. So we're gonna see what goes on this last couple of games. I'm gonna give you a quick update on everything. Let me see. We're gonna start from the very far on the left side. Lanes 1 to 4. We find Jonathan Samuelsson, William Hugesson, Frank Selander, Andreas Kleinsting, Michael Nyberg, Susanna Ottosson, Anders Tauscho, Marcus Johnson. Moving on to lanes 5 to 8, we find Jonathan Hallberg, Hampus Carlsen, Sebastian Holst, Mio Mutt, Oliver Persson, Erik Eversson, Caitlin Orishek, and Leif Nyberg. Moving another couple of pairs all the way to lanes 9 to 12. Okay, that's interesting. Lane 10 seems to be giving a headache to Sophie because she's got strike, spare, strike, spare, strike, spare, strike, split. Only strikes on lane 9, no strike on lane 10. Bowling with Sophie, we find Martin Nays, Anton Persson, and Henrik Khrushchev. If we look at lanes 11 and 12, we find Kenji, Mick Stumpy, Niels, with a little bit of a lower game at the moment, and Jonathan Winigan. Let me switch to 15 and 16. There we find Alexander Holm, Oscar, Tor Inge, Roger Samuelsson, and on 15-16 just finished the game, Simon, William Berggren, Anders Johansson, and Oliver Klujev. No people on par on those 15 and 16. And then we move to the right corner. We find Ocean with 191 for a total score of 869. Then we find Kenneth Jr. We shot 224 for a total score of 875. That's a very tight pair. Everyone is nearly with the same. Joel 872 and Kim Bolleby 867. 17 to 20 we find some strikes by Johannes Tigerstrand. Bowling with him we have Fredrik Abramson, and then we find Nikki and Carl Walgren on lane 20. Well, that's a wonderful strike for Carl Morgan there. Ball in the middle of the head pin, and very wonderful pin action. Let's see, because that pair is not paying out that high for him at the moment. He was doing okay. He was sitting third with 63 over. Ocean was sitting second with 78 over. Just shot 191 with a couple of splits, so he dropped down to 69 over. Just a couple of lanes with a couple of frames left. A little bit of a delay on 11 and 12. There's been a lot of open frames actually there on lanes 11 and 12. We find Niels that shot 212, 244, 205, and now on this particular game on 11 and 12 is dropping down. If he strikes out on the 9th and the 10th, it's going to be a 179, so it's going to drop down a few pins over there. There's another split for Sophie on lane 9. That's something that usually happens. You don't find it in one particular lane, and all of a sudden, instead of finding it on that lane, you end up losing it also on the lane you had it before. That's a bit what we're talking about, Carl, with this mental part of the game. They can be very annoying and hard sometimes. Gonna run around, see who's above par after these 4 games. We find Oscar with 486, Tor Inge 850, Ocean 869, Kenneth Jr. 875, Joel 872, Kim Bolleby 867. Let me see if I found someone else somewhere. 816 for Anton Persson. Sophie, if she makes a double, she could go all the way up to 827, more or less. Mick Stampy is doing good because he was already the leader with 95 over after 3. He's got no open frames and a couple of doubles, entering the 9th frame with chances to strike out for 248. And not far from him, we find a Kenji, which is also with 4 in a row, 9-0, double. burger. Okay, I'm back. Anton Persson 18-16 on 9 and 10, and Sophie managed to double and moved a little bit deeper. She's definitely deeper than she was. Turkey 185, 837 total. And now we're going to move back our eyes into lanes 11 and 12, where we find Kenji and Mick Stumpy, which are probably going to be standing pretty much on the top of the current squad. That's the 3, 6, 10, 9 for Kenji on lane 11. Not the easiest pair. But it takes it properly. Good job. Now, let's see what Mick can do on lane 11. So he delivers 12-6 and a perfect strike for him again. Wonderful shot. So that gives him a double and a turkey. And you still have a chance to go all the way up to 248. Now I'm going to see what Niels is doing on lane 11. Niels is a little bit lost on this particular pair. He got 3 splits, so it's not that he missed any spares, just only 3 strikes and a few splits on that one. So Kenji got the strike on the 10th, looking for a double. To put all his score on the way on 65 over approx. He releases and he gets another one. Good shot for him. That was a trip 4 for Niels on lane 11. It's going to help him save a little bit that game. He was fighting to not to drop down too much. He was 61 over after 3 games. This game was looking bad. Managed to save it a little bit, 179. That's obviously going to cost him. But at least it's not going to take away his confidence, and he's going to give him a chance to perhaps try to get a turbo done on games 5 or 6. He's a very young kid, around 16, but he's really, really capable of striking a lot. We've saw that already on the PBA youth back in May. Shooting games of 270 one after another. So we'll keep an eye on him for sure. Now we're going to have a look at how Mick Stumpy is going to end up on lane 12. He's going to be the current leader for this second squad of the day, squad number 4 in the tournament. There goes Mick. We a little bit further outside. Yeah, that was pretty far outside. That's a 2-4-10. Definitely a little bit pushy. A little bit more of trying to strike, not just making a good shot and letting it happen. Now let's see if he can take his pair. So, Meek, lane 12. Can you spare the 2-4 2-punch? Okay, that was a little bit too much. Drop down at the very end. That's very annoying when you survive the whole game and you have some expectations. All of a sudden, you get that split at the end. It breaks a little bit your idea. It takes away a little bit of your confidence. But hopefully, Fahim is going to erase it quickly from his brain and just get his mind on the right spot for game number 5. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes with a proper update of all scorings after 4 games, and we'll carry on. My apologies. I took a full game away, but the thing is, I wanted to eat something, and if I wait for the end of the squad, everybody wants to eat something, and then it's very difficult for the kitchen. And I left you silent for a little bit, so my apologies. But we are back on track, and we're gonna take a look. Actually, I'm starting to think that I really am a jinxer because this game I've been quiet, and there was a lot of striking going on everywhere. So yeah, I'm officially gonna become the jinx. There was a series, a TV series about the jinx, that killer in New York. They may do a second version with our jinx in here and the bowling. So we're gonna enter game 6 pretty soon. Last game on the squad, so we're gonna have an update of what's the total scoring after 5 games on this particular squad. This game, it was a little bit higher. I can see for from here. On lane 7-8, Niels just finished with 246 for a total score of 86 over for him. I see on 15 and 16 we can find, let me chase 15 and 16 in here. Mick Stumpy with no open frames and a double. Mick was the current leader, so is looking at a pace of approximately 216 if he spares and triples in the 10th. That would put him with 122 over. As soon as we can refresh. As soon as we can refresh all scoring, I will let you know the exact situation for this current format. Just have to wait a couple of minutes because lane 15 and 16 still have to bowl the 10th frame. We find Carl Worgen there, a local hero, suffering a little bit with 3 splits on this particular game and only 1 double, so he needs to strike out to shoot 192. It's also a low game for Kenji. Kenji was not bad. He was still holding out there. But this game is going to be, if he strikes out, he's going to save up to 199. He only had 2 strikes on the game so far. And both have been on the lane 16, not on lane 15. But there you go. He just got it on lane 15, so he got the double. Still have a chance to survive this game if he manages to finish with that 199. We're just gonna see what Kenji can do on the 11th. Oh, that's the 7-10 for Kenji. So the game's gonna drop down to 186. That's gonna take away some of the pins he had already. It's gonna put him down to only 50 over. And that's gonna be far from what's probably gonna be needed to make the cut, even if it's an early bird squad. So look like the scoring pace is a little bit higher than that. So let's walk around the bowling alley. We're going to move on to lanes 1 to 4, see who's bowling where. We find Alexander Holm and Oskar Poxkrok on lane 1. Then we have Anton Persson and Henrik Hylev in lane 2. Moving on to 3 and 4, we find Simon and William Berggren. Then we find Niels West with his Sperner double and Jonathan Wien again on lane 4. Then if we move to 5, 6, 7, 8, we find Ocean on lane 5, bowling with Kenneth Jr. Expensive frame there on frame number 3 for Kenneth with that big split of a 4 and 4. Then we find Tor Inge and Roger Samuelsson in lane 6. Moving to 7 and 8, we find Johannes Tigerstrand, Fredrik Abrahamsson, Anders Johansson, and Oliver Kulev. Moving another camera on, we find Jonathan Samuelsson, William Hugesson, Joel and Kim Bolleby. Kim is currently with 115 over after 5. If he can manage to shoot perhaps 260, 250, it could be one of those scores that may give you pass to the final, considering that it's an early bird squat. Moving on, 11 and 12, we just had the end of the games for Anders Johansson, Oliver Kulev, Oliver Persson, and Erik Iversen. So we move one more pair, let you know who's bowling on 13 to 16. We find Jonathan Hallberg, Hampus Karlsson, Frank Selander, Andreas, and then on 15 and 16, ending their 5th game, we find Nicky, Carl Walgren with another split. That's a very expensive game for him, 160 with 4 splits on this particular game. Excuse me. And then on lane 16, we find Kenji. Kenji shot 185, and the guy from Denmark, Mick Stumpy, after missing a single pin on the 9th, managed to double on the 10th to make 204 and a total score of 1100, unless I'm wrong. 1110, yes, 1110 for him. If we move all the way to the very last pairs, we'll find Martinez and Sophie. She's still 10 over par, and then Sebastian Holz and Mio. And 19 and 20 is not there yet because the bowlers are still... Oh, here they are, so I'm going to tell you before I move out. 19-20, we're going to find Kenji and Mick Stampe, and on 20, we're going to find Caitlin and Leif Nyberg. So we're going to enter now the game number 6. That's the last game on this particular squad. Again, it's a turbo game, so a very high game. It's opening a window for you to make it all the way to the final directly. And in a few seconds, we're going to refresh the total scores, and I'm going to read you the top 10 so you know exactly where is everybody standing on this particular squad. Okay, we have a new leader actually. It's Ocean. So he shot 265 on last game, Ocean Kinari, and is currently sitting with 134 pins above par. Ocean is playing on lane 5 at the moment. He's got the strike, 9 missed, double, and spares. Strike on the 9th. So Ocean is... he needs to strike out for a 212 and a total score of 1346. It could be enough for him since he's under 21, and it's also an early bird. Maybe, but I think he actually needs to strike out. Otherwise, it could be a little bit short at the end. So we have Ocean on lane 6. He delivers, sends it out, and he gets a strike. Nice shot for Ocean. One more needing. Let's watch the instant replay. Beautiful pin action over there. You can see how electrifying the pins were there on that light strike for Ocean. I remember this kid from when I was coaching in Mora. He used to come with Carl and his father. He was so little, but the release he had, it was spectacular already. He looked so good. So let's see again. He delivers. He needs that one. And he gets it on the right side. Oh! That's the Lucky Larson strike shot. I had some messages before. I forgot to ask. And since he's in the room, I'm going to ask him. Martin, I had a couple of messages down from Spain. They ask him, when are you bowling? You're not bowling this year? the elbow is still a little bit because for the people who doesn't know, Martin has been fighting a little bit with an injury recently, the last 4 months more or less, doing a lot of workout and recovery, trying to get the elbow back on the right spot. That's what happens when you get your handicap in golf down to 0. You end up having issues on the bowling later on. Yeah. Oh, it's a sad thing. We're not gonna be able to see Martin, but don't worry. I'll make sure I bowl one more squat, so at least you can make fun of me while Martin is not bowling. But and also we promise everybody that tonight when Jesper and Martin are on the commentary room, since they had some warm up yesterday, they're gonna start speaking from the beginning this time instead of waiting a little bit to show up. Yeah. It's a big family up here. I mean, we're all happy, and it's always fun to be here, isn't it? We love it. We love it. If you haven't booked your flight ticket yet, it's never too late. Show up in Helsingborg. It's a welcoming town. The weather is magnificent. Even for me, it's not that cold this year. One cloud here and there, but you still have time to come and golf with the pros on Wednesday. You still have time to join the party, and also you still have time to be part of the event. One way or another, you can play, you can watch, you can just come and have some fun. Everybody's welcome. So back into business. Let's see. Tor Inge finished with 235, total score of 1312. As we said, Ocean had 1344. My kid, the crazy Niels, is bowling on 1 to 4. Is actually on lanes 3 and 4. Niels West. Remember I said before, this kid, when he finds the line, he can strike like a machine. He becomes a strike machine. And that's the mode he seems to be putting on. Under 16 or just 16. So he's going to be entering that under 21 category and looking for, why not even doing it with the turbo. If he strikes out, it's going to be a 290. That's going to really, really, really put him up there. Not only that, he has 86 over after 5. So if he makes 290, that's going to be a 1376. That would probably guarantee a spot for him in the final. Beyond being under 21, it would actually be a little bit like Jesper did yesterday, where he opened every window. He opened the window of the turbo, he opened the window of the early bird, and he opened the window to make it directly. So let's see what goes on by the next 3 frames for him. We can see some striking also on lane 8 by Oliver. Started with the front 4. Actually got the 5th one. There goes Niels, missed in. Yeah, that was a bit spinning on the side, missed a little bit inside. Still could go to 268. That would put him on 1350 something. Little bit tight, but still would make 10 pins more than what Ocean did. So that could be a little bit the fight between them. And the other one that could have a chance is Mick Stumpy with 110 over. So that means Mick needs to do at least 240 to be above Ocean in this particular squad, and wait and see what Niels can manage to do from here till the very end of his game. The positive thing for Mick is that he's gonna finish after the other ones, so he already will know how much he needs to do. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad, puts extra pressure on you. But that's very particular. Everybody has a different thing. Somebody likes to know the scores and know what they need to do. Some other people prefer not to know anything, so they don't get any pressure on it. All right, we're back on 7 and 8 now with front 6 for Oliver. Surprisingly, there's still some bowlers bowling quite far outside, even this late on the squad. Not sure they're trying to find some stronger angle or trying to find fresh oil in the wrong direction. But it definitely was surprising to see some people that far outside so late in the squad. All right. Oliver is going to take his 7th frame here on lane number 8. See if he can carry on with his strike streak. And there he goes. Starts working. And the levers. And it swings. And it breaks down there. That's the number 7 for Oliver. That's a wonderful strike over there. There you can see the action in the hands. He grips the ball and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. That's 7 in a row already. I can see some striking also by Jonathan Hallberg in lane 13. Double, 9 spare, and 5 in a row. Victor, was 279 the turbo on game 6, or was it game 5? I think it was game 5. Game 6 was a little bit lower, unless I'm wrong. Game 5 was 278 for Jesper, but Jesper is going to be already in, so he's not going to be count. And this is game 6, so on game 6 the turbo is but it's the same thing, 289, and that's actually Jonathan Hallberg. He's got already 279, so he's going to tie his own turbo probably.
Have you as one of his idols and look up to? He has a two-handed.
Probably the last one I'm going to have ever. Okay, so let's look around. Niels is not striking out on the 10. He's got 8. So that means it's dropping down to 240 something. And that's only going to give him a score of about 1334 if his person strikes. That means he's going to stay 10 pins short to the score that Ocean already have on this particular squad. And now it looks like Stumpy still have a chance to lead the squad if he keeps on striking. And the other one that we have to pay close attention is on 7 and 8, because Oliver keeps on striking. Okay, Oliver is 180 pins on the score, so that means he was 56 under par. So he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it through the turbo, and there he goes. He's got the 9th. That looks so good, and his body language is so relaxed, so calm. Look at his body language after he turns around. He gets the strike, turns around like, yeah, easy peasy. Okay, another spare for Mick Stumpy on lanes 19 and 20. He's currently 7 over par after 6 frames. And he needs, let me count, 27, 47, and he had 10. So actually, Stumpy needs to strike out or make at least a 4-bagger and 8 spur to beat Ocean, but by 1. Or if he makes another 9 spur now and then he strikes out, then he's going to beat him by 2. Top score on this squad so far, 1,344. Time to have a look back into lanes 7 and 8. Actually, we're going to pay attention to lane 7. Anders Johansson just finished his game. That means Oliver is going to take his 10th frame. He's got the front 9. And we have to see what can he perform. Obviously, he wants to make 300, but the first one is the one that's important for him because it would open him the turbo window. There goes Oliver. Releases. Oh, that was very deep inside. That was very deep inside. He missed quite deep inside. Left the 4-pin. Now he's going to make, with the spur and strike, is a 279, but we already had the 279 by Jonathan Hallberg in the 6th game of the Turbo. Okay, it's almost done. We only have Meek Stampy to find out how he ends the squad, but I'm going to start getting ready and go out there to get some interviews and so. So I'm going to drop the commentary for the last 3 frames. It's been a pleasure, and we'll be back for squad number 3 with more action here in Helsingborg, Olympia Bowling Storm Lucky Larsen Masters 2026. We'll be back with more action.